Welcome to Travel On. Nothing ruins a vacation more than lost time or lost money. Having to shell out extra cash to wait for a bus or subway just to get to the next site across town can be depressing. So, here's a list of the world's most walkable cities. Places where your best packed item is a comfortable pair of shoes. Ready? Let's get to it. Kyoto, Japan. Kyoto's simple grid layout and compact districts make it one of the most walkable cities I have ever been to. Many of its famous temples, shrines, and gardens are grouped together, especially in neighborhoods like Higashiyama and Gion, making it easy to explore several landmarks in a single walk. Even between the famous sites, just walking through the streets and alleys is an urban explorer's dream. The city is mid-sized, so it avoids the sprawl of larger Japanese cities, and central areas can be covered comfortably on foot. Streets often prioritize pedestrians, with narrow alleys, calm traffic, and arcades built for strolling. Walking in Kyoto also connects visitors with its cultural details, wooden houses, stone lanterns, or seasonal flowers that are best noticed at a slower pace. All of these qualities make Kyoto a natural fit for this list of highly walkable cities. Bath, England. Unlike larger cities on this list with multiple historic districts, Bath's key landmarks, the Roman Baths, Bath Abbey, the Royal Crescent, and the Circus, are all concentrated within a small, clearly defined area. Its 18th century Georgian planning created broad streets and open squares that are easy to navigate, offering a different feel from the dense medieval lanes of places like York or Siena. The city's compact scale means you can cross the center in minutes, yet still encounter major sights along the way. Traffic is limited in many central areas, and the gentle topography makes walking straightforward. This combination makes Bath distinctively manageable and rewarding on foot. Also rewarding, liking this video, and maybe even subscribing to this channel. Venice, Italy. Venice is a no-brainer for this list because it is entirely built around footpaths and waterways. Cars and bikes are not a part of daily movement. This makes walking not just the best option, but often the only option. The city's network of narrow alleys, bridges, and small squares connect every neighborhood, and distances between major sites like St. Mark's Square, the Rialto Bridge, and the Grand Canal are short. Unlike grid-planned cities such as Kyoto or Bath, Venice's layout is irregular and maze-like, encouraging slow exploration rather than direct routes. Venice's pedestrian-only design also means that your pace through the city will be naturally slower and undoubtedly more social. This complete absence of motor traffic and reliance on walking sets Venice apart from almost every other city on this list. San Sebastián, Spain. San Sebastián revolves around the coastline and a compact urban center. Its layout is straightforward, with wide promenades linking beaches, parks, and the historic Old Town. Most major attractions, including the Parte Vieja, the harbor, and La Concha Beach, are within easy walking distance, often connected by flat, scenic paths rather than narrow streets. The city's scale is small enough to explore without transportation, yet large enough to offer variety in a single walk. What sets San Sebastián apart is how pedestrian routes often include sea views, green spaces, and outdoor markets, making the journey itself part of the city's experience. Quebec City, Canada. Quebec City is highly walkable because its historic core, Old Quebec, is designed for pedestrians. The old town's narrow cobblestone streets and small squares were laid out long before cars, so most places are best reached on foot. Many key sites, like Chateau Frontenac, the city walls, and Place Royale, are clustered close together, making it easy to see a lot without transportation. The city's steep streets and stairways connect the upper and lower towns, and pedestrian pathways often offer the most direct routes, but may also hinder older tourists or those with mobility issues. Traffic in the old center is limited, and sidewalks are wide and well maintained, making Quebec City particularly suited to being explored on foot. Florence, Italy. Florence is especially walkable because its historic center is not only densely filled with landmarks, but also level, so it's great for all ages. Unlike larger Italian cities like Rome or Milan, most of Florence's major sites, the Duomo, Uffizi Gallery, Ponte Vecchio, and Palazzo Vecchio, are clustered within a short radius, so walking is usually faster than using transport. Streets in the center are narrow and often closed to traffic, preserving the pedestrian character of the city. Florence's world-class art and architecture are concentrated in a small area, allowing visitors to move easily from museum to piazza to cathedral, all on foot. Its manageable size, flat terrain, and tightly packed cultural core make walking the most natural way to experience Florence. Ljubljana, Slovenia. Ljubljana is an excellent example of a modern city designed to prioritize walking. Unlike historic cities that were built centuries ago, Ljubljana's pedestrian focus is the result of deliberate recent planning. Large parts of the city center, especially along the Ljubljanica River, are entirely car-free, creating a calm, open environment for walking. The old town, markets, and main squares are all close together, and bridges link both sides of the city center. Ljubljana feels more relaxed and uncrowded than Prague or Florence, so take that into account if that's a priority for you. Ljubljana is a small capital city that successfully centers daily life around people rather than vehicles. Utrecht, Netherlands. Utrecht is designed around canals and public squares rather than cars, making the city center feel more intimate, less crowded, easier to walk, and more relaxed. The main attractions, such as the Dom Tower, Outer Gracht Canal, and central plazas, are all within short walking distance of each other. Streets prioritize pedestrians and cyclists, and traffic is limited in many central areas. Utrecht feels distinct from other walkable cities on this list since walking is a part of daily life for everyone. And let's face it, the calm pace makes exploring on foot both practical and pleasant. Dubrovnik, Croatia. Dubrovnik's entire historic core is enclosed within medieval walls and built on a pedestrian scale. Cars are not allowed inside the old town, so walking is the only way to get around. Dubrovnik's streets are a maze of narrow alleys, stairways, and small squares, which naturally are going to slow you down and encourage exploration. The city's compact size means major landmarks such as Stradun, the city walls, and historic churches are all within minutes of each other. Hear the sounds of footsteps on limestone, ocean waves, and strangers mumbling something about winter is coming. Steep stone streets, sea views, and elevated walkways along the walls create a walking experience that feels more like exploring a living historical site than a modern city. Before we move on to Spain, take a second to hit that like button and maybe even subscribe to our channel. It really helps out a small channel like ours. Next, we're off to Granada, another city where the main attractions are centrally located close together. The Albaicín, with its narrow Moorish streets and whitewashed houses, is best explored on foot, and walking is often the only practical way to navigate its steep, winding lanes. However, walking Granada's varied terrain involves hills, so the viewpoints that offer panoramic views of the Alhambra and Sierra Nevada may not be accessible for people with mobility issues. The Alhambra itself is reachable on foot from the city center, and plazas, markets, and tapas bars are closely packed together. And exploring the streets connects you directly to its Islamic, Christian, and Spanish influences. Prague, Czechia. Most of Prague's major sites, the Old Town Square, Charles Bridge, Prague Castle, and the Jewish Quarter, can be reached on foot without needing public transport. Unlike planned cities like Kyoto or Bath, Prague's layout is medieval, which means winding streets and hidden courtyards that encourage slow exploration rather than direct routes. The city is also pedestrian-friendly, with many central streets closed to traffic and bridges designed for walkers. Prague has many experiences within walking distance of each other: Gothic cathedrals, Baroque palaces, riverside promenades, and lively squares all sit close together, creating an environment that encourages exploration on foot. Edinburgh, Scotland. Edinburgh's compact old town, with its narrow closes and cobblestone streets centered around the Royal Mile which connects Edinburgh Castle to Holyrood Palace, practically begs to be explored on foot. The city's climate supports comfortable walking year-round, since the temperature here rarely exceeds 70 degrees Fahrenheit or 21 degrees Celsius. Key sites like St. Giles Cathedral and Grassmarket are tightly packed, making car travel unnecessary. Edinburgh's core is self-contained, with most attractions under a 20-minute walk with gentle slopes and pedestrian-only zones. The narrow closes I mentioned earlier are small, often steep alleyways or passageways that branch off from the main streets, particularly the Royal Mile in the Old Town. These closes were originally designed for pedestrian access to homes, shops, or courtyards. They're a defining feature of Edinburgh's medieval layout, making the city uniquely walkable by offering shortcuts and intimate routes through the city center. These closes create a pedestrian-friendly network, which adds to the charm, but requires comfortable shoes due to their cobblestone surfaces. Valletta, Malta. Valletta's tight grid, built by knights in the 16th century, packs history into a half-mile square peninsula, where streets like Republic and Merchants brim with shops and churches, all reachable within a 15-minute walk. Its Mediterranean climate, with mild winters and warm summers, supports year-round strolling. Key sites are steps apart, connected by pedestrian-friendly lanes. Since everything is close together and the terrain is somewhat flat, getting around can be quite easy, although occasionally steps do pop up. Valletta's walks are often framed with views of the sea, making it a uniquely scenic and contained urban gem. Lisbon, Portugal. Lisbon's historic core weaves narrow streets and vibrant plazas, with landmarks like São Jorge Castle and Belém Tower, linked by walkable routes. The temperature doesn't get above 80 degrees Fahrenheit or 26.7 Celsius very often, so anytime you go will likely be comfortable walking weather. The city's 7 hills add scenic views but require effort, unlike the flatter grid layout of Valletta. Fortunately, there are trams. Most attractions, including Rossio Square, lie within a 2-mile radius, easily navigated on foot. Lisbon's sprawl may seem broad at first, but tram-free zones keep walking pleasant. Lisbon blends coastal charm with tiled facades, offering a distinct European aesthetic with pedestrian streets prioritizing foot traffic in a lively, although hilly, urban layout. Seville, Spain. Touring Seville on foot is made easier since most of the landmarks are clustered within a 1-mile radius, connected by pedestrian streets. Though summer heat can be challenging, mild winters and warm summers make Seville perfect for pedestrian exploration. Key sites are only steps apart, with car-free zones enhancing the experience. Unlike Lisbon's hilly terrain, Seville's level streets are more manageable, ideal for all ages. Seville offers a large, yet still walkable core with rich Andalusian flair, like the orange tree-lined paths. Its blend of Moorish heritage and open plazas set it apart from busier, less pedestrian-focused cities. Siena, Italy. Siena's medieval heart packs its treasures into a compact car-free core, with the Piazza del Campo and Siena Cathedral just a half-mile apart. Narrow cobblestone streets wind through historic districts, easily walked in under 20 minutes. The temperate Tuscan climate is great for comfortable meanderings regardless when you go. Unlike Florence's busier tourist-packed streets, Siena's smaller scale feels intimate, with fewer crowds, and the gentle slopes are less taxing, though not as flat as Seville. Its pedestrian-only zones, like Via di Città, outshine Rome's traffic-heavy roads. Siena's Gothic architecture and quiet lanes offer a uniquely preserved, walkable medieval charm. Krakow, Poland. Centered on the main market square, Krakow's core gathers landmarks like Wawel Castle and St. Mary's Basilica, all within a 1-mile radius, linked by pedestrian-friendly streets. The city has mild summers and crisp winters, and most attractions are a short stroll apart, with car-free zones making it all that much easier. Krakow's Old Town feels intimate and navigable, with flat terrain that makes walking effortless, even for longer distances. Its blend of Gothic and Renaissance architecture, paired with lively yet uncrowded plazas, creates a distinct pedestrian-focused urban experience, prioritizing foot traffic over vehicles. York, England. The medieval city of York is enclosed by ancient walls, which naturally creates a compact, pedestrian-friendly hub where key sites are only minutes apart on foot. Weaving through the city's historic center are relatively flat, car-free lanes that make walking easier and safer for all ages and abilities. York's winding alley-like snickelways offer a uniquely intimate walking experience, guiding pedestrians through hidden corners. This blend of preserved history, accessible paths, and a scale that prioritizes foot traffic over cars distinguishes York among walkable cities. By the way, in case you're wondering, Snickelway is a term unique to York, England, describing the city's narrow, often hidden pedestrian passageways, alleys, and lanes that weave through its medieval center. They're basically York's version of Edinburgh's closes. Amsterdam, Netherlands. Amsterdam's compact layout, crisscrossed by canals, creates a pedestrian-friendly core where attractions are tightly packed and reachable in short walks. Flat terrain and car-restricted zones prioritize foot traffic, while bridges and narrow streets keep routes direct and scenic. The mild climate supports comfortable strolling year-round. Wide, safe sidewalks and dedicated pedestrian paths make navigation easy, even for families. Unlike York's hidden snickelways, Amsterdam's open canal side walkways offer unobstructed views, blending urban and scenic charm. Amsterdam's small scale cuts out the need for public transportation between key sites, and its unique canal network shapes a walkable grid, encouraging exploration on foot. San Miguel de Allende, Mexico. If you're looking for a walking tour in Mexico, San Miguel de Allende's colonial core, with its cobblestone lanes, keeps major sites within a half-mile radius of each other, making walking the easiest way to see them all, since pedestrian-only zones and narrow streets limit vehicle access. The mild, high-altitude climate makes it easy for walking tours, and the flat or gentle sloping paths ensure accessibility, even on uneven surfaces. San Miguel's tight scale means cars are completely unnecessary. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this journey through some of the most walkable cities in the world, and I hope you'll help our little channel out by clicking like and maybe even subscribing. It really does help out a small channel like ours. I hope to see you in the next one, and until then, stay safe and travel on.